When you think of exercising to losing weight, you ever think of this?
Oh my god.
Okay, maybe not to that extent, but the point is that cardio can suck sometimes, right? However, what you might not have known is that cardio might actually be holding you back from reaching your fitness goals. So by the end of this video, you're gonna learn how to exercise, and really at the end of the day, you should learn how to start burning some calories like for free. Now I just wanna make it abundantly clear before we start is that I'm not saying to not do cardio. Nice, double negative, not to not do cardio. I'm saying cardio can be good. So as many people know, cardio has a lot of good health benefits such as heart health, stronger bones, improving blood pressure, etc. However, if your goal is to lose a couple pounds of fat and more importantly, like keep it off forever, then cardio might actually be counterproductive and staying on that treadmill and stair stepper might not be the best option for you. Also, I'm like way oversimplifying some of the ideas here in this video. If I talked about every variable that can happen in life, this video might be like an hour long, and obviously we don't have that time, right? I just want you to get the general idea of what I'm trying to say so you can really start thinking like a fitness person, guy, doer thing. So to really explain what I mean, let's do a little thought experiment together. See, in the long run, cardio doesn't actually burn as many calories as people might think. Let's assume that you walk or run 3 miles during your cardio session, and that takes you about an hour. You can approximate how many calories that you burn per mile by taking your body weight in pounds and multiplying it by 0.7. So let's assume that you weigh 200 pounds, multiply that by 0.7, and you're going to get about 140 calories per mile. So if you do your 3 mile run or walk or however you do it, crawl, honestly, doesn't really matter, you're gonna end up burning about 420 calories. So on the surface, this might look like a lot of calories. However, you really step back and look at it, it's really all not that much. That hour that you use to walk could actually be used a lot more productively in losing weight and keeping it off forever in the long run. To explain further, I'm gonna use a little bit of an analogy here. So if you wanna lose weight, get shredded, and you wanna stay there, you gotta think about burning calories and using your time kind of like saving for retirement. So for example, if you put your money into a savings account, right? Like putting coins in your piggy bank, right? And they're just gonna sit there and they're not gonna do anything, right? They might accrue a little bit of interest in the bank over time, but more often than not, you're really just putting your money away with getting out any real return. So putting your money into saving is a lot like doing cardio in this example, right? So once you get off that treadmill, you may have burned a substantial amount of calories at first, but once you hop off, like that's it. It's a one and done thing, right? However, there's a lot better way to get set for retirement, or in this case, getting lean in the long run and staying there. So to save a real sizable amount for retirement, people put their money into things like 401ks, Roth IRAs, and other type of retirement accounts, right? So by doing this, they are investing their money instead of saving their money. An important distinction there, right? When you invest your money, that money is gonna grow at a substantial rate, right? So if you invest into like the S&P 500, for example, you would be getting a 7 to 8% return on average every single year on your money, right? So instead of like in a savings account where your money just sits there and does nothing, your money instead in an investing account goes up in value exponentially as it compounds with interest. So by putting your money into an investment account, you start getting basically just free money by just having it in there, and that's how people retire with a lot of money. They just let that money grow and grow and grow over time. And the best part is, once it's in there, you really don't even need to do anything, right? You just put it in S&P 500, you let it sit there for a while, and then it'll just grow for you. So if you want to lose weight and keep it off, you gotta have the same type of mentality, right? When you do cardio, it's like putting your money into a savings account, right? You save it there, but it's like a one and done transaction. Nothing happens after it. Put in $100, it stays $100 for basically forever, not accounting for inflation, right? And obviously saving money is a good thing. People should do that. But if you really want to be successful financially, or if you really want to get lean, you gotta focus on investing that money. So think about your body as having some sort of retirement account, right? The more that you can build up your retirement account, the more return that you're gonna get through that compound interest back in return, giving you the additional benefits of being able to stay lean and get lean. So if you invest your time into your body's retirement account, you can actually start accruing burning calories passively without ever having to do anything, just like a Roth IRA or a 401k where it just compounds interest just by sitting in that account invested. So the next time you're in the gym, I really want you to do me a favor. look around the gym and find the most peeled guys that you can, right? So I'm not like talking about those guys like, oh, he's in pretty good shape, he might have some abs. Like, no, I'm talking about the guys who have like veins running down up their shoulders, down their arms. They probably have veins like on their ass cheeks, right? Their bodies kind of look like a road map around New York City. And tell me where you find them. Are they on the treadmills more, or are they lifting weights? If I had to bet money, I would say they're probably by the weights a little bit more than they're on the treadmill. By a little bit, I mean a lot. This is because they know that if you want to stay lean over time, you have to raise how many calories that you burn each and every single day. And one of the best ways to do that, and some of the best exercises you can do, are those that put on and stack on muscle mass. God, that was cringy. So have you ever heard of contestants on the show The Biggest Loser gaining all of their weight back very quickly over time? One of the main reasons is one, well, they crash dieted, that's not good for you. And two, that they really focus on just fat loss, right? They never focus on what's also very important, and that's gaining muscle if you want to stay lean long term. So when these people diet and they lose a lot of weight, over time, right, they shrink and shrink and shrink, and they become less physical human being. Now that they're less human, right, not in a sense of who they are, but like physically, they have less body to support, they have a less mass and matter to keep running, right? And their TDEE shrinks over time. If you're not sure what TDEE is, I'm gonna link a playlist at the end that kind of explains weight loss and TDEE at the end, so stay tuned. But if you don't know, really quickly, TDEE is just the total amount of calories that you burn every single day. So these people, they significantly shrink their TDEE very, very fast, but they don't focus on gaining muscle to help regain some of that TDEE, right? So when they go back to their normal lives and their normal eating patterns, they just go back and balloon back up because they're used to eating way up here where their body weight is here, but now they're here, right? They're gonna make up that difference. If they eat up here, your body weight is gonna go up here as well. What's up? So in order to combat this phenomenon, you really wanna put on some muscle to replace some of that fat that you lost. To really explain this, let's talk about some numbers about how many calories fat burns per day versus muscle burns per day. So the research is a little bit all over the place, and there's not a conclusive number that each of them burn. So I'm just gonna use the lowest number I could find for each just to be conservative. So far the studies show that fat burns at least 2 calories per pound per day, right? And on the other hand, muscle burns 3 times as much with 6 calories per day. So if you replace a pound of fat with a pound of muscle, right, you're gonna gain a net of 4 whole calories. And you might be thinking like, wow, I just gained 4 calories, so what? But if you really think about it and you take a step back and look at it, it's a lot more significant than you might think. So you gotta remember, once you put on this pound of muscle, or you gain that 4 extra calories, that's gonna last forever. Assuming that you maintain your muscle, you get 4 calories per day per pound of muscle. So that pound of muscle is just gonna keep burning extra calories for you day after day after day. Kind of like if you invest your money into an investment account, right? If you invest your time and energy into building muscle instead of immediately burning fat, you might get a lot higher returns in the long run. So if you put in $100 into a Roth IRA when you're 18 years old, by the time you're 65, that would likely have grown to, I lost the number, $2,400 by the time you retire at 65 years old. And that's literally for doing nothing. You set it, forget it, and it just comes back way more in the end, right? That's how I kind of want you to think of this. So likewise, if you invest your time and energy into gaining a pound of muscle, right? A pound of muscle gives you that 6 extra calories. That 6 extra calories you'll get every single day throughout time, assuming you can maintain it, right? So those 6 calories per day over a week will equal 42 calories. Those calories will be burned regardless of what you're doing, whether you're sleeping, playing video games, TV, getting more gains, hitting like and subscribe, right? Whatever you choose to do, those calories per week are gonna be there no matter what. And the best part is you don't even have to put in any extra work on the treadmill or the stair stepper, right? You just get those for free. So can you start seeing how powerful this can be? Like even better, that doesn't even take into account that the calories that you burn actually putting on that muscle and building that muscle up, right? So on average, an average hour-long lifting session is gonna burn about 100 calories just to keep the numbers nice and even. In building, actually like physically building that muscle tissue on your body is gonna take another 30 calories, right? So let's zoom out even further and really think of this on the span of a year, right? So for this thought experiment, we're gonna consider 3 cardio sessions versus 3 lifting sessions per week. So for the sake of this video, again, this is gonna be extremely oversimplified, but again, I just want you to kind of see the idea and understand what I'm trying to say here. So we're about to do a lot of math here, so if you want to skip that part and just get to reviews, I'll put a little timestamp of where to skip to. However, just know that you'll be killing my view percentage, man.
You're not really fun, but you just...
I'm just kidding, do what you want. But I highly recommend watching this because it really gets the idea of how someone who's really into fitness and stays in shape really thinks about these kind of things. So let's start with cardio. If we do 3 cardio sessions per week and multiply it by the 420 calories burned each session, that's gonna give us 1,260 calories burned per week coming from our cardio sessions. Take that 1,260 calories per week, multiply that by 52 weeks, and that's gonna give you 65,520 calories burned in a year. Taking the 3,500 calories per pound of fat and divide that, we get 18.72 pounds of fat burned per year from our cardio session. Not bad. Now on the other hand, with lifting, if we do the same 3 sessions per week, multiply that by 100 calories per lifting session, that's gonna give us 300 calories per week burned from lifting. Take those 300 calories per week and multiply it by 52 weeks in a year, and that'll give us 15,600 calories burned in that year. Again, divide by 3,500 calories per pound of fat, and that'll give you 4.46 pounds of fat burned each year, strictly from the lifting sessions themselves. Now, let's assume that you've already invested into building 10 pounds of muscle on top of that. That muscle is gonna burn 420 calories per week. Multiply that by 52 weeks in a year, that's gonna give you 21,840 calories per year. Again, divide that by 3,500 calories per pound of fat, and that gives us 6.24 pounds of fat per year burned by just having the 10 pounds of muscle on you. Now, adding those together, the 4.46 pounds of fat from the lifting and the 6.24 pounds of fat from the muscle, and that's gonna give us a total of 10.7 pounds of fat in a year, calorie-wise. So how awesome is that? If you lift and really put in that time and energy into muscle, you're gonna burn 8.38 pounds of fat per year. On the other hand, cardio, you only burn 18.72. Wait, what? You burn more fat with cardio than lifting? Well, this video is pointless. Well, actually, not necessarily. Remember, as you lose weight by doing cardio, your overall TDEE is gonna drop, right? And as you lose more and more weight, keeping that weight off is just gonna get harder and harder because you can't eat as much calories anymore to keep you where you are, which means it's a lot easier to put on fat by overeating that now low amount of calories. And this is one reason why people balloon back up, because their TDEE is now so low, it's hard to maintain that level. However, if you put your time into lifting, right, that TDEE you lose gets made back up by that muscle, right? Those extra 6 calories a day will make up that calorie drop that you had before, so you can keep eating at the same amount. Even on top of this, if you do cardio for a long time and you're in a long-term diet, what's gonna happen is that you're actually gonna lose muscle as well as fat. So that TDEE that drops is gonna drop even further, which obviously is gonna suck and you wanna prevent at all costs. Now, where the real beauty of this lies is that you don't have to stop at 10 pounds of muscle. I just chose 10 pounds because it's a really easy number to use for calculations. However, if you put in enough dedication, time, and effort, many people can realistically get to 30 pounds of muscle gained, right? So imagine a 150 pound person, each day, they're gonna burn 2,031 calories per day. However, if they put on that 30 pounds of lean muscle mass up to 180, right, we can see that they jump up to 2,349 calories, right? So they gained about 300 calories burned per day. If we take that 300 calories, multiply it by 365 days in a year, that's gonna give us 109,500 calories. Divide that by 3,500 calories per pound of fat. That's gonna give us about 30 pounds of fat burned for doing absolutely nothing, just having the muscle on you, right? So just for reference, I'm gonna throw a picture on screen about what 30 pounds of fat actually looks like, and you could be getting this basically just for free. So that begs the question, should you just avoid cardio forever? Should you put all of your time and effort investing it over and over into muscle gains forever? No. Absolutely not, at least in my opinion. So what you should do instead is diversify your fitness portfolio. So you should definitely prioritize putting your time and energy into muscle building for the most part, because then you get those returning gains year after year from that passive calorie burn. However, if you really want to reach your goals at a reasonable rate, if you really want to lose those 20 pounds, supplementing in cardio might be a good idea, right? Do some lifting and doing some cardio. Diversifying the exercises that you do will, one, not only make you more overall healthy, and two, it will help you get down to the weight you want. And then as you build up muscle over time, as you lose that weight, then everything will kind of just gradually even out, and you won't have to do as much cardio anymore if you don't want to, because now you have the muscle to make up for it. However, you won't gain much muscle and you won't lose much fat if you don't have your nutrition dialed in. So if you need help learning how to do that, click this playlist here for everything you need to know about setting up your diet. Until then, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.